Hi everyone, welcome back to Beyond Your Knowledge. Today we're going to be talking about fetal hydronephrosis. And before we continue, I would like to share with you Luke 4:18 to 19, and says that the Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because He has anointed me to proclaim good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim liberty to the captives and recovering of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed, to proclaim the year of the Lord's favor. Amen. That was Luke 4:18 to 19, and we're going to see the fetal hydronephrosis. But before, I would like to show you a picture. So let's just get the picture here. Yeah, so basically this is the urinary system. So we're using a male urinary system, and remember that all the processes start with the kidney, and here we have the kidneys right here. Okay, now one time sitting on the kidney, we have the adrenal glands, so they should be sitting here. Okay, so it should be there, the adrenal gland. Yeah, but we're going to focus more in the urinary system. And so after the kidney, you will go to the ureter, which is this one here, but you don't arrive to the ureter yet until you cross through the ureteropelvic junction, and it's just right here. Okay, so this one is the ureteropelvic junction, so we can write it here. So this is the ureteropelvic junction. What I'm showing this because if you have any obstructions, so you will see, for if you block here, you're going to have unilateral hydronephrosis. If you block here, you're going to have bilateral, but it depends. Okay, so then after your ureteropelvic junction, which is between your kidney, it should be between your kidney and your ureter, so you have that one. Well, then you continue and you arrive to your bladder. So, and then when you're on your bladder, so which stores the urine to be excreted by the urethra. Okay, and then you are going to have your urinary meatus, which is the last, basically here at the tip. So you're going to have the urinary meatus. Okay, so there. Now, all this help to know this basic anatomy, help for even if the patient has any kidney stones, or if the patient has hydronephrosis, to identify if it's unilateral or bilateral. Let's just assume that the patient has unilateral. So, well, for unilateral, so which area do you think is going to be affected? Yes, the ureteropelvic junction, for example, because it is in its kidney. Now, or could be, or if it's a calculus, so if you have just one in the ureter, so it's going to be unilateral. Now the problem becomes when those two double sides become one, and the bladder and then the urethra. Then you can have bilateral hydronephrosis, or if you have stone blocking here in the urethra, it's hard to. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so now, but basically we're going to talk a little bit more about the fetal hydronephrosis. I'm going to open here a new slide. So to continue, that was just basically the big picture that we can understand. Okay, so fetal hydronephrosis is commonly detected in the second trimester during the ultrasound. Okay, so what is with ultrasound? Ultrasonographic and then ultrasonographic anatomy survey. So the finding is usually transient, clinically insignificant, as a fetal renal pelvis has a high compliance and can accumulate large volumes of urine. Okay, so you can see that there is this compliance make the fetal kidney susceptible to dilation. So you will see compliance, and then makes the kidney, so this volume, this large volume, so make the kidney to dilate some more. And if the kidney dilates, so then we call this hydronephrosis. Oh, sorry, okay. And then that can lead to an obstruction. Okay, now the most common pathologic cause of this one is the unilateral, as we mentioned here. That's unilateral, so we saw there. And so because it's going to be a narrowing, or it's going to be kinky in the proximal ureter or the ureteropelvic junction, as we mentioned, that could be here in the ureter at the beginning, or ureteropelvic. So remember, in words who were not diagnosed during the second trimester prenatally, they can present after the burn. So if you don't diagnose, so they can present with a palpable abdominal mass. So palpable abdominal mass, and yeah, so, and also enlarged kidney. Okay, now so I will draw here in the new slide the kidney development. Okay, so okay, so we're going to do that. So basically, remember that it's a bit different, looks strange when it's in the process of development. So this is shape here, okay, and then go just like this. Then we're going to name all these, okay. Okay, looks something like that. Now here you're going to have, yeah, so this one come here, so just come here, but then here do something like this, okay, and then come one more here, and we'll go into here, okay, and this one is going to join, so all this become together here. It's going to join this one that we already studied before, okay. Oh, sorry. There you go. Now so that one that I just draw, it is called the, let me switch the color here, sorry. Yeah, so just yeah, this one, the first one on the top, it is the vitelline duct. Okay, so this one is the vitelline duct, and then the other one, it is going to be the allantois. This one is the allantois. So you have your allantois and your vitelline duct, and then they become together, and then they form the cloaca, so which is this one, cloaca. Okay, so this cloaca, so basically it should come all this here into the top, something like this. Okay, now what else we can see here in this? Well, that is something that is coming directly from the allantois, and this is called the mesonephric duct. So let's just here, so the mesonephric duct come from here, and so mesonephric duct come here and just cross, so just cross here, mesonephric duct. Okay, I'm leave it there for now. Let's just name it. So this is the mesonephric duct. Okay, this is the embryologic development, mesonephric duct. Now what else we can say here? Another thing is coming from the allantois before become the cloaca. We already saw one, which is the mesonephric duct, but one more thing, and it's the ureteric bud. Okay, so this one here is the ureteric bud. Okay, now this ureteric bud is right there. Now that is another thing that is in front of the ureteric bud, and I will do this color. Let's just do another color here. Let's just say blue. I don't know. Yeah. So metanephric blastema. Okay, so metanephric blastema should be around here. Okay, metanephric blastema, and this one should be more big. Okay, this is just getting an idea of how it is, but so the last one that we named was the metanephric blastema. So let's just name it here. So this one is metanephric blastema. The planet is in the corner. Whoops. Okay. What's happening with mesonephric duct? Do you remember that I mentioned that I'll be back to that one? So this metanephric duct, so now is going to be something else, and just continue here up and join this one here, and then split, and then you have something here, and then we just like this. And so this one, the one that I'm doing right now, this one is called the mesonephros. So better if we do just like this. So this is the mesonephros. Okay, so which one is this one? Mesonephros. Now we have one more that probably you're saying, but what is that? The one? Well, the other one is pronephros, which is this one here. Pronephros. Okay, just to recap, so we have your vitelline duct and your allantois. They continue and then become together and form the cloaca. Then before arrive to the cloaca, the vitelline duct is going to give you the mesonephric duct, and also is going to give you the ureteric bud, and close to the ureteric bud we have another structure that is coming out, which is the metanephric blastema. Now we come back to mesonephric duct. Mesonephric duct has a continuity with mesonephros, and the other one it is pronephros. So basically this is part of the kidney development. Now the kidney development, it is do you remember that I mentioned here that we have metanephric blastema, which is this one here, and we mentioned also the ureteric bud, which is this one here. Now those two, so we are going to draw in this corner here, so because those two is going to give you origin to the renal cortex, or to the renal pelvis, or to or to the ureter. Okay, so we're going to draw in this corner here. So, and the one that is going to be green, no, let's just do orange and blue. So the orange is going to be the ureteric bud. Actually, we should, yeah, actually it should be green. Sorry, because we're following this area here. Yeah. So the one that is green. So I was right for just to continue with the same colors, ureteric bud. And the one that it is the metanephroblastema, we're going to use this blue one. Okay, so this is a metanephroblastema. Now we're going to draw here the kidney. So basically we have the ureter. The ureter comes from the ureteric bud, so it's going to be green. So this is the ureter. The ureter, but the ureter comes from what? From what? From the renal pelvis. So the renal pelvis just like, it's just something like continuity, and then you have different things. Okay, then you get more of this, and then you get this, get that, then you get that, you get this, you get this, and then you get that one. Okay, so this one is the renal pelvis, and this one, it is the ureter. But all those is going to have the calyces, which are going to be all this area here. Okay, all those are calyces. Okay, but then we're going to have the renal cortex, and the renal cortex, so we're going to start here. Got it? So, and then this is the renal cortex. So this renal cortex, basically it is the, so this renal cortex, it comes from the metanephroblastema. So the metanephroblastema give you the renal cortex, and the ureteric bud give you the renal pelvis and the ureter. Got it? So now just basically just review it. So remember that was the embryologic part, and the fetal genitourinary tract is derived, so as we mentioned, from the metanephric blastema, which is here. Okay, metanephric blastema, and the ureteric bud, as we mentioned. But the ureteric bud, there is an important, it is a dorsal outgrowth from the mesonephric duct. Okay, so this mesonephric duct, which is here, and yeah, so the ureteric bud, it is a dorsal outgrowth from the mesonephric duct. So basically the mesonephric duct, the dorsal part of the mesonephric duct will come the ureteric bud. Now the metanephric blastema, which is this one here, so gives rise to the functioning renal parenchyma, by which time, by 10 weeks. Okay, and 10 weeks of gestation for sure, while the ureteric bud develops into the renal pelvis and ureter through the dilation and canalization that happen. Now the ureteropelvic junction that we saw in this picture here, this ureteropelvic junction is the last segment of the fetal ureter to canalize. So this is going to be the last one to canalize. Now if the patient has the pathogenesis of this ureteropelvic junction, obstruction may involve a failure of this canalization, and then through abnormal development of circular musculature and collagen fibers. So basically, what is the origin of this the pathogenesis of this uretero-pelvic obstruction? Well, that is a failure. A failure in what? So that is a failure in the canalization, as we mentioned before. And then if you have a failure of the canalization, so through abnormal development of circular musculature, so and or collagen fibers, so and then if that's happened, so the patient is going to have a failure to canalizations, and then the patient can get a uretero-pelvic junction obstruction. Okay, yeah. So, and I think that, so we can move on, and I think that we so all those, and I think that with this one, so we are done. And sorry, yeah. So thank you so much for watching, and we hope that you enjoy and that we keep learning. Remember, God bless you, and we can do all things through Christ strengthen us. Happy faces for you, and more happy faces. Okay, God bless.